Hello everyone and welcome to Petco Park. The San Diego Padres open the season tomorrow against the Dodgers in LA, and Lee, they're doing it with some of the highest expectations in recent memory.
Derek, it's been an off-season of change, and coming up in the next 30 minutes, you'll meet the new players. We'll talk about the storylines for the season and the change of the culture at Petco Park.
Padres preview starts right now.
Driven it again, deep center field, over the yellow line, home run. 2-2, lost the bat. Strike three, that's Andrew Kashner.
Everywhere you look, there are new faces in Friars uniforms.
We have, 60 guys in camp, and well over half are new to a Padres spring training. And you don't see that often. You don't see the turnover.
And with so many changes to the roster comes a brand new set of expectations.
Now, it's not about hope, it's about an expectation that we're going to be a competitive winning team this year and again year after year after year.
It started with the trade for superstar outfielder Matt Kemp from the Dodgers.
When I got traded over here, I asked AJ, if I was the only thing they were going to be doing this offseason. He said, just watch.
Then came the trades for outfielders Will Myers and Justin Upton, and eventually the signing of big game James Shields. The feeling from veteran Padres?
I was excited. I almost couldn't believe it. It's makes you wonder why other teams weren't doing the same thing.
The man at the center of it all, first-year general manager AJ Preller.
In order to get what you think are quality players, you have to give up quality players back. I mean, you're always waiting for that phone call from the GM that's looking for the bottom three guys on your roster and your organization, but that doesn't usually come.
AJ had plan A, B, C, and D going into the offseason, and clearly we were able to execute plan A.
But plan A comes with a hefty price tag, a record payroll of more than $100 million for Padre ownership.
Yeah, I'm on food stamps, so I had to hitchhike over. But yeah, we're all in.
All kidding aside, it seems this big bet is already paying off. Ticket sales are up 600% compared to last year.
It's exciting. I mean, fans are re-engaged. There's an energy that I've been in San Diego for 40 years, and that energy's back. People are talking baseball, and it's fun to be a Padre right now.
Part of the reason the energy is back, the Padres overhauled their offense.
Yeah, last year the Padres were dead last in offense. This spring, though, they're in the top 10 in 6 categories, including hits, batting average, and homers.
And the core of the offense is an all-new outfield, a former MVP candidate, a perennial all-star, and a former Rookie of the Year.
That ball's still going. That ball is gone, Matt Kemp. Deep left center field.
Matt Kemp has shown he's comfortable with his new team. The former Dodger tapped into his power swing right from the start of spring training.
But the big question for this left fielder, the slugger's health.
Everybody at some point in their career gets hurt. I went through a time where, when I was younger and earlier in my career, actually 2 years ago, I was never getting hurt. I think I played more games than anybody in baseball, but, it happens that way. I think my body caught up to me and, kind of broke down a little bit, but it's, like I said, it's just the way you bounce back and go about your business.
Justin Upton came from the Braves to hit. He slugged 29 homers, 102 RBIs last year. Could he be a leader?
Emotional leadership's a little bit overrated. There's a few guys that will step ahead of the crowd, and guys will look to them. They keep the team under control and not panicking. But other than that, man, you go about your business the right way, you'll win ball games.
The other piece of the outfield, Will Myers, a former Rookie of the Year with the Rays. His 2 challenges, recovering from wrist surgery and switching to center field.
I played a lot of center field in the minor leagues. I think the biggest learning curve is just getting used to Petco and the dimensions and figuring that out.
This new outfield could combine for 70 home runs this season.
But even though a lot of the attention has been on the offense, manager Bud Black says this is a pitch-first team.
And you need a quality catcher to run that pitching staff. They have an all-star.
Guys feed off of positive energy, and that's ultimately what I try and bring.
Derek Norris had one goal this spring, build rapport with the pitching staff.
If you come in here just kind of doing your own thing, it's tough to gain a confidence as a catcher for these guys. So just trying to be open, vocal, just let these guys know anytime, any place, anywhere, I'm open for them conversation. Let me know some information so we can mold together as a group.
The 26-year-old from Goddard, Kansas, arrived via trade from the Oakland A's, and he admits catching a new set of arms isn't easy.
it can be complicated, but I think with the staff here, with Buddy and Balsley and some of the guys they have around circulating, they've been very good to me so far. They've let me know a lot of information that a lot of guys don't get to know until they've caught a guy maybe 4 or 5 times. So even though I've only caught some of these guys a couple times, I feel like I've been with them for a few weeks already.
Flying to left field, a base hit. Derek Norris turning it on the last week of spring training.
Known for his glove, Norris has shown some pop with his bat and was named an all-star last year.
I wouldn't consider myself at all a power hitter. I think the most homers I've had in the big leagues is 10 in a year. Obviously in small sample size being in a platoon. If I were to put a label on it, I'd like to see myself as defensive first and then offensive. But in a perfect world, I'd like to be 50-50, a good hitter and a quality catcher behind the plate.
Norris says he's ready to be an everyday catcher on a good team.
There's a lot of talented guys in the room, I think, but the most important thing definitely that we talked about this morning in our meeting is there's a lot of guys in this room that have proven some success in the big leagues, but also have something to prove. Kemp from LA, he's definitely got something to prove. He's got that fire in him, up and going into free agency. He's wanting to have a big year. Myself, being in a platoon, wanting to play every day, I think that's going to fuel us throughout the course of the year.
Norris struggled a bit right out of the gates this spring, but he has been ramping it up the last 2 weeks of Cactus League play.
And Derek, if the Padres are going to have a good season, they need bounce-back years at bat from a couple of their infielders.
The Padres could use some production out of first baseman Yonder Alonso.
He came from the Reds in the Matt Latos trade 4 years ago, but has struggled to find consistency following 2 hand surgeries.
Those are things that right now I'm not really focusing on. It's kind of past me right now, and for right now it's just getting ready to work with the guys, obviously get my feet wet.
And a line drive into left center field.
Third baseman Will Middlebrooks has shown all kinds of promise, but with nagging injuries last year, the Red Sox gave up on him.
Now he has a new home and has had an impressive spring.
They just told me I'm competing for a job, that's fun. That's what it's about. It's about coming out and competing and getting better every day and getting to know your teammates, and it should be a lot of fun.
Second baseman Jed Jerko had a very good rookie season in 2013, but last year he didn't hit, then suffered a foot injury.
His health, his confidence, and the pressure of a big contract are the issues he has to deal with now.
When you're hitting 100 or whatever, it's hard to be real confident, but it was something I'm always confident as a player. I always felt like I could still go up there and get the big hit when I needed to, but maybe it faltered a little bit there, and that's something to learn from.
Coming up,
we had depth, and our starting staff really wants to win.
We'll break down the Padres' new pitching staff. Plus,
that's the tough part, is trading guys that are going to be successful elsewhere.
Constructing a winner. We'll talk with GM A.J. Preller and the front office about their vision to bring a winning ball club to San Diego. And
definitely got to get a haircut and make sure I don't have anything in my nose. And
why Matt Kemp is so concerned about his appearance. Padres preview continues next.
If the Padres are going to have a successful season, the starting rotation will have to shine. It may be one of the best in baseball. They proved that last year.
And in the spring, they've looked very strong. They're anchored by a big offseason addition.
Curveball, changeup, slider, he can pitch.
At the top of the rotation, new ace James Shields.
He signed a franchise record 4 years, $75 million contract this offseason. And he's ready to build on the success he had with the Royals last year.
I'm as hungry as ever. I think when you come to the last game of the World Series to sniff the ring a little bit and not be able to get it is not a good feeling. So I'm hungry to get back there.
Nasty breaking ball.
Also hungry, Andrew Kashner.
At 6 feet 6 inches, he has all the stuff. Now the 28-year-old's trying to leave nagging injuries behind.
Came out to San Diego, beginning of January, started working with Brett McCabe and just, kind of stretching more, kind of lengthen out the body a little bit and, just get back, get prepared for the grind.
Ian Kennedy is entering the final year before free agency. His reputation, a bulldog and a horse.
He threw 201 innings last year, tops on the team. His philosophy, give me the ball and get out of the way.
I like to take a lot of pride in eating up those innings. I watched a lot of really good pitchers early in my career. I watched Andy Pettit a lot with just how he went along with his work ethic and what he did off the field.
Tyson Ross was dumped by Oakland in 2012, but has found stardom in San Diego.
Crossing paths with manager Bud Black and pitching coach Darren Balsley has been huge for the 27-year-old hurler.
They've got a ton of knowledge, and
Buddy kind of gives us a longer leash out there at times. He's been through it. He knows what we're going through, and the communication's great on their part.
New to the staff, ex-Blue Jay Brandon Morrow.
He's a power arm with 765 strikeouts and 735 major league innings. Coming to the National League and a pitcher-friendly Petco Park.
It's great after playing in the Homer Dome for 5 years, so it should be good. A couple of those, wall scrapers in Toronto turn into outs here.
The starting rotation is great, but so is the bullpen.
And it's all led by the closer, Joaquin Benoit.
Kevin Quackenbush is the eighth inning guy. Mid-game setup pitchers led by Dale Thayer and newcomers Brandon Maurer and Sean Kelly.
Benoit, the closer, offers a veteran's viewpoint on the roster the Padres have put together.
I think it's good to have a mix of young guys and veterans, because it takes a lot from the veterans to teach some of the young kids, but it takes a lot from the young kids to learn. So when we have a bunch of guys that have been in the playoffs and trying to do the best to take this team up to the promised land.
Now, there are other big names on that pitching staff to watch, namely the guys coming back from surgery.
And Derek, the Padres are awaiting the arrival at midseason of Corey Lubke and Josh Johnson. Johnson went 31-14 over a 2+ year period with the Marlins, but then had elbow and forearm surgery. He believes he's cleared the emotional hurdle of let it rip, pitch all out.
For me, the first time around, I just kind of went with it and said, you know what, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So, I came in with the same mentality this time around, and it's been so far so good. So you just got to find a way mentally to kind of get past that, and just to tell yourself that it's fixed, it's fine. Just go out there and do what you do.
Lubke, the young left-hander, broke down after signing a big contract extension. He had to deal with the horrors the first transplant didn't take, and he had to have another surgery. He went looking for pitchers to talk to.
I've talked to a few guys. Sean Kelly's had some, JJ's had two. Those are spread out a little bit, but me and Dan Hudson talked a lot last year and then a little bit through the off season. So we've been using the same therapist too a little bit. So to a certain extent, I got a pretty good idea of the way things should go.
Those guys certainly won't be on the opening day roster tomorrow, but they could join the team by June.
Coming up, we've shown you the team, but how do they stack up against their opponents? We'll break down the NL West next.
And a giant new addition.
Really, we can do anything with this. It's the biggest in the National League, and it's the third biggest in baseball.
Why the Padres say fans will get a larger-than-life experience at the ballpark this season. Padres preview continues next.
You have to pack it and pack it and pack it. There's 8 tons of material out there on that mound.
Packing it, painting it, prepping it. The Padres groundskeepers have been hard at work getting the field ready for the home opener on Thursday.
So after we get the field laser graded, which has to be done very precisely, because you only get one shot at getting the grade, then the sod comes in. And we laid approximately 20,000 to 25,000 square feet a day.
The Padres entered this new season with a new roster and also some new leadership in the front office.
The general manager came from Texas. The president and CEO had been with the Red Sox and then in Miami.
General manager A.J. Preller, he's been a dynamo. People across the country are saying this guy won the offseason.
Mike D. amazed at his game plan. Ron Fowler awed by his work ethic.
The Matt Kemp deal reportedly done.
How about an outfield of Matt Kemp, Justin Upton, and Will Myers? A.J. Preller, what a job! He has reworked this Padre outfield.
This is an historical day.
Preller made 7 trades in December, brought in veteran-proven players, but the cost, 10 top minor leaguers.
That's the tough part, is trading guys that are going to be successful elsewhere, that are quality players, and but just think maybe there's a little better fit for our team.
Mike D knew the blueprint, but was still amazed at the outcome of the deals.
Sort of as a perfect storm for us. Everything just laid out. Again, chronologically, we were able to get the Kemp deal done, and then that opened the door for Myers, Upton, and what followed. And so all these moves were interrelated.
Ron Fowler says Preller's approach to getting it done, amazing.
He really personalizes the relationship that he has with people, and he's a low-key guy, but he's very passionate, quietly competitive, fiercely and quietly competitive. But he's a people person. He loves to be around people. He's candid. He can look in the eye. and he's compelling. I don't care what he's doing, he's compelling at it.
Preller inherited a strong pitching staff and added to it. He knows arms are important.
And especially today's baseball, injuries to pitchers. I'd love it if we were able to go 1 through 5 all year long. All our starters make their starts, and the same thing in the bullpen. But it's probably not realistic. And we made it a point as a baseball ops group that we wanted to give as many options to Buddy and Darren as possible on the pitching side.
D praises the ownership group for what they allowed the GM to do.
There was never a point in time where it was you can't or you shouldn't. It was always how do we make this happen? And obviously there's a bottom to the well, but that wasn't the approach this offseason. It was about how can we make this team competitive for a World Series.
The Padres' attendance plunged from $3 million the first year at Petco to $2.1 million last year.
And Fowler believes the misery is over with tomorrow's opener at Dodger Stadium.
I think last year was sort of the beta test for us. Okay, this is not working, and we knew we had to go out and re-energize things. I mean, we're pretty methodical on how we go about it. We're not making snap decisions, but when it became obvious we needed to find a difference maker, Mike did a great job of lining up a list of candidates, and the biggest difference maker of the group was the guy we hired.
So we talked about the makeup of this team, Hacksaw, but how do they stack up against their NL West opponents?
Derek, if you're going to put check marks on a board, I think the Padres have a better starting rotation and a better bullpen than either the Dodgers or Giants. And I think the Padres probably have a better batting order. The big question mark, what will their team defense be like? They hung their hat on that the last couple of years. We won't know till opening day tomorrow afternoon.
What's happened with the Giants and the Dodgers to send them down the list a little bit on that standing board?
Roster changes. The Dodgers will not be the same team offensively without Matt Kemp, Hanley Ramirez, or D. Gordon. And I think San Francisco is going to miss the Panda Bear, Pablo Sandoval at third base, and power-hitting outfielder Mike Morse. And San Francisco's got limitations and injury issues still with their pitching staff.
And the Padres look good this year, but however they do this year, they've got a bright future ahead.
Hopefully when that day comes and they think I'm ready, I think I'll be ready.
The Padres are awaiting the arrival of catcher Austin Hedges. The second-round pick is considered the number 2 catching prospect in all of baseball and has spent 4 years in the minors.
I think I'm getting closer every year. As of right now, I'm just focused on getting better this spring training and showing what I can do.
The 22-year-old is a tremendous defender, but he still needs to grow in the batter's box.
I know Buddy preaches it. It's the biggest relationship is between us and the pitchers. And if I can go out there and call a shutout, for me, I think I'd rather do that than go 4 for 4. Obviously, I'd rather do both, but for me, I think the focus is defense.
College hitting star Hunter Renfroe has moved fast through the organization. The first-round pick represents what little power the Pods have left in the farm system.
Quality of pitchers you're facing get tougher and tougher as you march through this?
Not necessarily. You get your guys in low A that throw really hard and kind of don't know where it's going, but you got your double A and triple A guys that are really refined and can throw any pitch at any given time and throw it for a strike. That's the only reason that they're tougher. Not necessarily that they got better stuff, they just know how to use it.
The small-town Mississippi native has hit 27 home runs in 2 years, and there's a lot expected from him.
Here's the Padres' biggest off-season addition. It's 61 feet tall, 123 feet wide. The new video board is the largest in the National League and the 3rd largest in all of baseball.
The videos, everything that'll be up there is really going to engage as much as possible, from social media interaction to really just every stat you could ever want as a baseball nut, but also just all the fun, all the great cams and all the different fun things that we do, and then player personality stuff.
Matt Coy and a staff of 35 people run this thing, and there are some other new features they've added.
For the first time this year, you'll really experience when you come to Petco that every video screen in the whole ballpark will be interactive together.
Slugger Matt Kemp made a mental note when he saw the new video board.
I just know I gotta, take my green screen and all my team pictures serious because my face is gonna be on that jumbotron. I can't be looking all crazy, so definitely gotta get a haircut and make sure I don't have anything in my nose and make sure I look good throughout the 162 games.
And boy, that video board is even more giant in person. Okay, Hacksaw, let's put you on the record. How are the Padres going to do this season?
Derek, Padres have great hitting, unbelievable pitching. I think they're going to win the National League West at 90-72. And Derek, they're going to play in October.
Boy, that would be the first time since 2006. That does it for us here on Padres Preview. We're going to leave you now with some closing thoughts from players on the makeup of this team.
It's like a fantasy team over here. You got to stay up on the computer and make up whatever team you wanted to, and this is pretty much what it turned out to be.
For me, I think we can compete with anybody, can go out there and beat anybody we want.
There's definitely, some talent in this locker room that hasn't been in here in a while.
We got guys that have, World Series experience. I think this team's capable of doing the same thing.